So 2020 was quite the year. Let's take a look back at this channel and kind of walk you through everything that happened, some of the big milestones, and see what we can pull out in terms of stats to kind of show you what a year looks like in a YouTube channel. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Nick Polkowski, and on this channel we talk all about live streaming and videography and how you can use that to grow your business. And really in this video I want to do something a little bit different than what we normally do, which is tutorial focused. I want to kind of dive in, look at some stats, look at some things that happened this year on the channel, because honestly, 2020 was a really big year for the channel, and I kind of want to talk about what happened and why it was such a big year. First, one of the big things is because of the events, because of the pandemic happening, there's a lot in terms of my client work that disappeared all of a sudden in March. So that was a great period for me to refocus the energy and jump back in to this YouTube channel. So I really relaunched it basically in April. There was a couple other videos on here before, but again, that was mainly focused on just some random videos that happened to work based off some other things I was doing, some other client work I was doing. So really things kicked off here in April, and meant lots of videos throughout the year, especially during a few months there until we got to about May, like end of May, early part of June. With the relaunch in May came a big focus on right away trying to release a lot of videos in a short period of time. So there were a lot of shorter videos, things I thought would work really well in terms of what people might be searching for in terms of live streaming. That was the main focus initially. So lots of videos kind of getting out there with a few other videography ones hitting the channel pretty quickly, just kind of testing a few things out. But then once some traction started happening with live streaming, leaning more into that and really creating some more deep dives. And now the videos, especially that I've gone back doing some client work and more remote live streaming, remote producing of live streams, the videos have eased back a little bit. There was at least 1 month, there was one short period of time, between April 13th and April 20th, where 6 videos were released. That was probably the most in a compact amount of time, and then things started spreading out a little bit more after that. That was kind of the big push to get YouTube to realize that this was an active channel again, because I don't think I released a single video. I didn't actually go to look, but I don't think I released a single video in all of 2019. So this was definitely a big change in terms of the number of videos released, and it led to some great results. The channel here, let's jump over and kind of check out that screen. The channel here has crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark right now. I'm recording this on Saturday, January 9th, and you can see we're sitting at almost 1,500, 1,448 subscribers. And we crossed 1,000 a while ago, and have been continuing to build some momentum. The channel was monetized, which was super exciting for me. That was something I was hoping for a while. Obviously not super working on, but now I can put more time and effort because there's at least a little bit of return, and I can see some more future long-term results coming from this channel. So that was extremely exciting. You'll see not necessarily a huge amount of revenue came in this year, but that's what I'm sitting at right now in 2020. That's how much I brought in, $268.38, and that is for about 100,000 views, to kind of give you an idea of where things are at. And again, most of these views are not monetized. I'm trying to remember the exact date. I could look it up because I do think I saved it somewhere. But right around October 15th, October 20th is when the channel finally became monetized. So that's really where that $268 since October 15th, that's what it's brought in. So definitely nothing amazing, but it's going to allow me to invest more time, invest more energy, buy some certain equipment for this. So that's going to be extremely helpful in the long run. This was also the year where I got my first sponsorships on the channel. We've had a few different sponsors now, probably a handful of videos were sponsored. So that was a really huge first step for me. Again, it just means this is more of a viable place to put my effort in. I can start taking slightly less client work, because definitely still not, can't stop that by any means. And I'll still be doing client work for a while, but I can be a little more choosy because I know of the potential of this channel, because we're starting to see some results, getting things snowballing. That allows me to put some more time and energy in this. This is also something where I launched a product based off of this channel. You can check that out at, and you can just see how things have really, again, I didn't take any stats here in the earlier part, but you can really see how things have jumped from April and March. You can see that big jump where we released a bunch of videos and started getting some momentum. And this graph right here shows the views. You can see October was the biggest view month, not by far, but significantly bigger than everything else. And that's part of the reason for that is that have released less videos in the last couple months here. That was just because of my schedule, because of client work. So October, I was still able to get a decent amount of videos, or a few videos out, get those views up. I think that's when I started playing around with YouTube Shorts as well. I've released a couple of those, not many. We might see more of those in the future, kind of depending on how things go. I still might be playing around and testing out that some. And then you can also see here, look at the watch time. You can see the graph for that, how it's kind of constantly growing and growing and growing. December was the most for watch time, so that's really exciting to see. And then if we look over here, you can see the number of subscribers gained, and then you can see revenue. So like I said, it was October, right around October 20th probably is when we became monetized, finally hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, and then you can see the revenue there. I will, in future iterations, be breaking this out into a separate graph. If you want to jump in and look at just numbers across the board, we've had pretty consistent growth. There's a little bit of a downturn right here in terms of views, like I mentioned, but everything else is pretty constantly going up. Again, November had a little bit of a tick down in terms of watch time, but then back up in December. And truthfully, part of that could be because of the election. That always makes some of this a little bit more difficult. So that could be part of it. Definitely not going to blame it all on that. I hadn't released nearly as many videos as I had been, so that's a big part too. But then you can also see the subscribers here, how that has continued to go up and up and up, which is really great to see. And then you can see the revenue, which I hope will continue to grow and increase, with December being the biggest month for that. And then every month I go in and look at the top videos, the lifetime by watch time minutes, and the top videos by views for the lifetime. You can see the one that has definitely performed the best is that Facebook live tutorial. It goes across both of them. That's easily the winner in terms of everything. It's also like a 33-minute video. And then you can see scheduled, the Facebook scheduled stream is up there next. And then this one's always an interesting one. So this is content for your podcast. So let's jump over here and I want to show you what that one is, because we can go through all this. This is a very old one, 2015. It's been my top performer for a while, and it just keeps kind of going along. It's going to be passed here soon in the new year. Many other things are creeping up on it. I don't see that continuing to grow too much, but because of the popularity of podcasts, because this channel was focused earlier, back around that 2015 time, I put a concerted effort into creating content around podcasting. It was known for that. So YouTube knew that this was a spot where we could send people to learn them a little bit more about podcasting. So as the channel grew, I continued to bring in a few more views for the podcasting content as well. But let's jump back here really quickly again. And you can kind of see there's another interview. This is a great one. Ray Edwards is a great copywriter. I interviewed him for a show that I would send out on this channel. It was actually a podcast, but I would release it on this channel as well. And he used to share it out quite a bit. So that's why that's up there in terms of watch time minutes. It's a decent sized interview, and he used to share it a lot. And then you can see Facebook Live clips. That one's been gaining fast, which is pretty cool to see. And then you can see that's also where we have a little bit of difference here in terms of views by lifetime. Now, last thing I want to show you here is just these are some updated goals I have. Actually, these were goals that I started probably around that April time. I was just trying to guess where I'd be, where things go. Adding the revenue, don't even have a goal there because I wasn't expecting to hit that, but I did hit 2 of those goals in terms of views and in terms of total subscribers. To pass those subscribers, obviously the big one. That's the one I'm super excited about, and that definitely makes all that worth it. So let's jump in and just look at overview of all the stats from the year on actual YouTube. So this is where you can find all of your analytics. It's the analytics tab. I'm also, just in 2020, and again, the real time here is obviously a little different. That's what you're seeing as of 11 on January 9th, 2021. So here you can quick see this is just the top videos for the year, which tend to be pretty much the top videos on the channel over the lifetime. But you can kind of see what that is. And you'll notice it's not exactly the same because this one, adding a guest, is not up there right now on the actual thing. So it's kind of interesting. So those right here are the top 10. And then you can see our watch time graph right there. Subscribers, revenue, and we can see right when let's see, 0. Okay, so October 25th. I was off even a little bit. It was a little later in October. Let's check out reach. Little over 1 million impressions. Look at that. That's exciting. And then in terms of click-through rates, click-through rate is going down a little. I'm going to need to work on that some. But you can see pretty solid at right around that 6 mark. Our high looks to be like 8 because this is very little views. That's one thing to also realize too, is that your click-through rate is going to adjust depending on the number of impressions you get. So if YouTube is sending your videos out to more people, you're likely going to have a click-through rate that goes lower and lower. That still could mean you're getting tons of views. So don't just think that click-through rate needs to be as high as possible. It's going to depend a lot on what YouTube does with your video. Your job is to try to make the best thumbnail, best title to get your click-through rate as high as possible. But don't really focus on it too much, honestly. Just work to improve it when you can, and YouTube's going to kind of take care. It's going to fluctuate some depending on how many people YouTube is sending your video out to. All right, let's check out. This is views. Again, you can see we went over 100,000 views. That's pretty awesome. And then unique viewers. And let's go through here. You can see 41% is from YouTube recommending content. Huge. YouTube search is definitely the most. Suggested videos has significantly been increasing for me, which is awesome. A lot of that has to do with that Facebook tutorial. A few months after it was released, really started to pick up those suggested views, which is really great. And because it was performing well, getting a lot of watch time, YouTube was slowly sending that out to more and more people, and that's been awesome in terms of growth. And then I'll just quickly run through some of this. If you have questions, honestly, if you have questions about a lot of these stats stuff and want me to do more deep dives in different sections of this, let me know. This is something I do every single month. I go through the stats every single day to do like a quick look, but then I do a big, deep breakdown at the end of the month, kind of checking out all the stats for the previous month. And that's where I then put it into that Excel sheet just to get a better idea of what those stats are. And then let's jump up here. We'll do a quick run through. You can see watch time hours, significant increase from what we had before. An average view duration is kind of pretty consistent at around that 4.5 minute mark. And this is a feature that I really like, and I'm going to be diving into a lot more this year. It kind of gives you your key moments for audience retention. It talks about the intro for 10 videos, and then this is the most recent 10 videos. That's a key piece right there. And then it talks about spikes. You can see, especially on this one, where we get a big significant spike right here. And then if you click on it, let's go ahead, click on it. It'll kind of show you where you get that big spike and why you get that. And you can see this is where I actually jump into, we get the big spike where I'm jumping into the phone to kind of show people what that is all about. And then you'll get to see dips, and it shows a couple different dips here. It's good to know where your audience is falling off and where some dips are happening and things like that. So that's something you're going to want to pay attention to as well. And let's jump into and talk about the audience. Again, subscribers grew a ton. 1.2K. I think I started out We could look back. I know I captured that somewhere. Actually, in my very first analytic breakdown, I did talk about that. I'll include a link to that in that playlist in the description. So if you want to see, I did a couple of them this year, and then things got a little busy, and I kind of stopped doing those. That is something I want to get back to this year, is kind of breaking down the analytics every single month. So if you do want to know more, have questions about it, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to do some videos on that in future monthly breakdowns. I want to bring that back and really dive into that, even if I'm doing it on a live stream or something like that. That's something I want to be doing here throughout the year. But what I love about this section of analytics is you can see when your viewers are on YouTube. So you can kind of see when the most people are. For me, what days are best to publish on, things like that. I'm in Safari right now. I'm not in Chrome, where I have vidIQ and TubeBuddy installed, and I can kind of see they give some extra stats and extra information there. I will be doing a breakdown of both of those programs here soon. And then we can quickly show estimated revenue. You can see some big spikes there. RPM, and so that's revenue per mille, which is 1,000 views. You can see what that is. And then you can see CPM, which is basically what YouTube is kind of selling those ad spots at for 1,000 views. So it's cost per mille. And then you can see the breakdown. And you can even see what we're doing so far in January, 9 days in. And then this is top earning videos. And of course, it's the most viewed video. That's the top earning one as well. And you can see most of it comes from skippable ads, is where the vast majority, 80% of the revenue is coming from that type of video. All right, so that's kind of a breakdown of the stats and everything. Now let's jump in and talk just a little bit about what the most viewed video was. I just kind of want to show you what the analytics look like for that. So I'm going to jump over there. And here we are. This is the most viewed video. And that's since published. Let's go all of 2020. We're going to stick to 2020. And there you can kind of see how it has fluctuated a little bit in terms of views, with some significant increases, just kind of continuing to grow and grow and grow, which is great. Watch time has done very well. A big dip here on the 24th. Of course, that is Christmas, so it kind of makes sense. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And this has by far been the one I've gotten about, not quite half the subscribers, but like that's definitely the bulk of the subscribers I've gained have been through this video. And then the revenue, of course, we know. And you can see right here, right now, again, this is real time. A lot is coming through suggested. That was not the case right away. Back when it was still kind of slowly growing, that was mostly coming through search. But now that search is still pretty strong. It's 35% on this one, but suggested has significantly become the dominant way that this video grows. And I think that's key in terms of getting a huge channel growth. And I'm not going to break down the entire thing, but you can see that this is right around that 6% click-through rate. Now let's talk a little bit about what to expect moving forward in 2021. There's a few things that I'm very excited about, some things I'm definitely working on. If you want to learn a little bit more about some of the mistakes that I'm trying to correct, you can check out my previous video. I'll have a link up in the cards here to that previous video, just launched. And it talks about some of the mistakes to avoid when live streaming. It's some of the stuff that I'm going to be working on as well throughout this 2021. But really, one of the key things is going to be kind of that consistency piece. Initially, when starting the channel, I think it was important to do a big push to get some videos out, release as many as possible in as short time as possible to get that momentum built up again. But now, maintaining that pace would purely be impossible. In fact, now with more client work, I'm actually finding it harder to even maintain a consistent release. So that's going to be the big focus here in 2021, is having a consistent release. Wednesdays is what I'm going with right now, but making sure that I release a new video every single week. That's going to be a huge focus. And then adding in live streams. With these live streams, I really want to focus on some topics I'll have a few topics, kind of a short little topic piece at the beginning, but I really want to dive in and answer a lot of the questions I get in comments, because a lot of times I get a wide variety of questions in the comments that might not make sense to do a full video on, but would be great in a live stream. I could tackle 3 or 4 questions every single week. Obviously, if you're there and want to jump on the live stream, I could answer your questions directly, but that's something I'm definitely going to be focusing on here, and it should be starting as this video releases, should be happening in the next couple days. The focus is going to be, because of my schedule, I can't commit exactly to a day, but it's going to be either Fridays or Saturdays is when those live streams will happen. Expect those every week. I don't have a exact time nailed down, most likely in the mornings, but be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss those, because you will know ahead of time, hopefully at least a few hours ahead of time before I go live, so that way you can know when I'm live, show up, get your questions answered, things like that. One other thing you might have noticed is there is now a channel membership. I have access to memberships, which is very exciting, and there's just one membership level right now, so feel free to jump on that. Really what you're going to be getting with that is some exclusive content, kind of behind the scenes content, and then some special live streams that we'll schedule and make sure they're members only, so you can really deep dive on your questions, possibly even bring you on and talk a little bit more about those questions to help move you along on your journey in creating your live stream show and growing your business with video and live streaming. That's really the focus of that. So if you want to support the channel, if you want to get some of your specific questions, be sure they get answered, to get some longer conversations, get some of that exclusive content, be sure to check out the membership. There should be a button right next to the subscribe button, or just check out below. You should see that. The other big thing is I did release a starter kit this year, a live streaming starter kit. You can check that out by going to nickpaulkowski.com/starter kit. I'm going to be continuing to build that out throughout the year, adding more content, more and more content. Really that focuses right now on templates and checklists, but there's going to be some other training pieces there, and really want to create something that's pretty cost effective, but will help you get started live streaming right now with as little frustration as possible, so you can get out there, create content, and connect with your audience. And really my big goal for 2021 is to continue to connect and grow this community. I'm so excited and so happy that all of you hit that subscribe button this year, and just where this channel has gone. It's something that I am truly passionate about, really excited to be diving into, and I want to answer your questions and really create that community around live streaming, around being able to grow your business with live streaming and videography. So keep those questions coming. Feel free to keep the comments coming. Let me know. I'm very excited to connect with you, and I will be sure to hit that subscribe button and be on the lookout for our first live stream in the next day or two. Very excited, and I will see you in the next video.